Hello guys, so we learned about creation, reading operation, and now we are going to learn about the update operation, that is edit operation in ASP.NET MVC using C#. Okay, so first of all we will go as usual to our models class. Okay, in the models, in the in the controller class. So in controllers, in the employee controller, which is our main driving force. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to create a HTTP what request, HTTP get. Okay, HTTP get request, and we'll say public action result, and then we say edit. Okay, so we are doing this by ID. Okay, so whenever you click on the edit button, it will fetch the ID of that particular row, and then it's going to do a edit operation. Okay, so it will find the ID. Now employee emp object is equal to object dot get employee by ID. Okay, and then we call it, this is a ID. Then we're going to return the view emp object. Okay guys, so what we have done is we have created an action result in the action result method, edit method we have created, and then we have initialized our emp object to get the employee by ID. Okay, this is the method which we are going to make in our context class in our model. Okay, and then it's time to create the HTTP post request. Okay, now we are going to go ahead, we'll say public action result, and then say edit, and then say employee, and then emp object. Okay guys, then we are going to say that same thing as before, I is equal to obj dot, here is little bit different from the previously what we did. We are updating this is another method which we are going to take from the context. It is called as a update employee. This update employee, we are going to define it in the context thing, but you understand what update does, right? The same thing which we used to do in the creation, we used to use the save employee, we are using this update employee. Okay, now what we're going to do, we're going to repeat the same step. As I told you, if I is greater than 0, so the whatever they are returning, then return, and then we say redirect to what? Action. And where do we want to return? We want to return to the get employee method. Okay, we want to return to the get employee method. Okay, now what we are going to do, otherwise we are going to return a view, and that view is known as emp obj. So this will definitely help us in editing a particular record. Okay, let's do the delete functionality also. So let's do edit and delete both. Let's implement edit and delete both in the same lecture and same video series right now. So again, how we start? Get. First we get the request. Actually it's post, but say get, set, get, post. You can get used to it how to. Okay, then we say public action result. Result. Okay, action result delete, and then we ask integer id and then we say employee emp obj is equal to obj dot. Why I'm doing this edit and delete both together? Because I am using the same method. Which method? Called get employee by id. So we are using id as one of the basic. There's a id is of course a primary key, and primary key is the one which is going to decide which one to delete. For example, if in your database you have two-person name as Radhe, what you are going to do? Which Radhe to delete? How a database will understand? It will understand by how your application or database is going to understand. It will understand by id. So id is the unique thing, which that's why we are grabbing the id in one of the stored procedure, and then we are using that id to delete or edit the employee. Okay, so we just said that public action result delete, and then we said that emp object, we got the id, and then what we are going to do? We are going to return what? We are going to return a view known as emp obj. Okay, so your get thing is set. Now it's time to do the post thing, http post. Okay, so how I'm going to do the posting? So we can call the action name as delete, it initializes the okay. What does action name attribute does? So action name attribute represents an attribute that is used for the name of an action. Okay, and now what we are going to do? We are going to do say public, we can going to get action result method, and we'll call it delete confirmed. Okay, action result and then delete confirmed by what? By using id. Correct? The same thing which we did before. See, I'll show you again. For the edit thing, what we did is we use the ID here. Okay, same thing we are doing here, but the performance of this, like to perform this thing, we need to double check this. So that's why we are doing delete confirmed, calling it again. Okay, same action result, and then we are saying that we are checking it, we are getting the confirmation, and then we are saying that object dot delete employee by ID, and then say ID, and then say if I is greater than 0, and if it is greater, then we return to the. So in what does this actually means is, if the operation is already successfully completed in the database, then you go back to the read part of it, that is the get employee part of it, in getting the employee. Else what we do is we return the view. So delete employee by ID. So we have one method called delete employee by ID, second method called get employee by ID. Okay, and then we have another method known as update employee, and that's it. Get employee, update employee, and delete employee. These are the three methods which we need to define in our which class? In our model class. Sorry, model in our model in the context class. So we'll go back, we'll save this first, and then we will go back to our context class. So here we are in the context class. So what we are going to do, we are going to make another method. First method, which method should we write first? What do you think? We should write, yes, get employee by ID. That's the most important thing. Unless and until you don't have ID, you can't do anything, right? So get public employee, get employee by ID, and we say in question mark, let's say AMP ID, we can get the ID of it, and then see, it says 2 references because it has been used 2 times. That's right, employee obj is equal to new employee. And then we'll use the SQL command, cmd is equal to new SQL command, and we'll define what? We're going to define the stored procedure. See guys, it's very good. This is the standard practice which we are using in industries, to go by stored procedure and not go by the Excel table. Sometimes that's not using SQL at all, but sometimes you go by stored procedure is the best way. Even the views is good way, but the stored procedure depends on how you are using, where you are using for analytics, you are using for transactions, you are using what you are using this application for. But for now, as a basics, we are learning using stored procedure. Okay, So we say connection dot open. Now we have opened the connection, but for what? So we are going to go back to our SQL and we're going to see this method. See, the method is SPR get employee details by ID. It's doing what? It's doing just select star from employees where employee is equal to this. Whatever ID is being passed, that we are going to take it. Now you might be thinking, where is this ID coming from? Because we are not going to enter the ID. No one knows even the ID. But in the view page, ID is already there, but we have to pass it from the view. I'll show you how to do that. Once we are finished doing the context thing, and then I will show you. That's very interesting part of it, and you should always have a curiosity that how this ID will be passed to the stored procedure. Okay, so and then what we are going to do, we are going to say that cmd dot command type is equal to command type dot stored procedure, and then say cmd dot parameters dot add with value, and we are going to add a value at the rate repeat again, which we did for the reading thing. Okay, then we say obj dot emp name is equal to convert dot to string dr1, and we say obj dot emp salary is equal to convert dot to int, and then we say dr that's working properly, and when you want to edit it, what's happening? So let's go to this details. Says that expects parameter emp id which was not supplied. So let's go to this. So what's happening here is we will not use this code for the edit thing. So we'll remove this code first for edit. Okay, and we are going to use, because we need to pass that id thing, right? I was discussing this one before. So form tag, say action is equal to employee edit, and then say method method is equal to what? Method is equal to, of course, post, and then we close it. Then we are going to define the input. Type is equal to hidden. This is the most important thing, guys, to define a hidden input type, and then naming it as emp id, and value is equal to what value? Give reference of there was a little bit issue with the view classes, but now it's fixed. I will share you, I have already shared the code on GitHub, and let's see now how it runs, how it goes. So we say employee and then get employee. This is our like a homepage thing. We can edit it, say 46 and submit it, so you get 66. You can even delete this record, so you can delete this record. In creation was also working, say Radhe and say 7800, submit. So everything is working fine. I will show you my GitHub account. And here is CRUD operations. I'll be putting this in the reference also for the code. So we have actually learned how to create, read, update and delete using MVC and .NET framework, ASP.NET framework. ASP.NET is used for web application development. It's really a very good thing to learn it, and we always we start with the CRUD, create, read, update, delete. Once you know the fundamentals of this thing, and then you can use these concepts to make your projects. So hope you guys enjoyed this session. I assure you that once you look at the code in the description, you will definitely be able to grasp how the things are made, how the interactions with database are done. Another thing is regarding databases. So if you are not sure about the database, I have explained you everything here, but I'll be uploading one more video which will show you each and every step which we took for creating all the stored procedures for these CRUD operations. Okay, thank you so much guys, have a good day, bye.